Episode 2 of Noragami Season 2 came out today, and this episode was messed up in more ways than one. And so we see now that in the beginning, we have the cure doctor whose real name is Kuguha, I believe his name is. We see him now in this forest, and he was like chopping away at this tree to like get some sap from it. And we see now that girl, now I forgot her name, but of course we all know who she is, especially from Season 1, because apparently she is a regalia that can be used by anyone, and of course she has some very deep ties with like Yato, and also it seems that Kugaha is definitely familiar as well, as he actually gave her a nickname like called Nori or something like that. But of course she did not like that name, but we see that these two that not only are they friends, but they are like somewhat working together. But now we have Yukine confessing to Yato that he did make a friend, and we see now that what's the name, Kokufu. Well, we all know that obviously she's the god of calamity, and we see that first she was like worried that maybe Yukine will end up leaving Yato, because that right there is like what she was worried about. But we see that when Yukine had confessed that he actually made a friend, that everybody calmed down almost immediately. And it was also funny to see Coco with Regalia pretty much pass out, because obviously all of them were like thinking the worst. And for like something so light as for like making a friend, what was the whole big confession, obviously that right there cut him off guard. But Kokufu actually thought that right there was like rather adorable. But we have Yato going to Tenjin, who Yato told obviously what happened, and we see now that like Tenjin and Mayu, who we all know is Yato's former regalia, they were like pretty much making fun of him, which was definitely kind of funny. And so now we see that Tenjin, that the real reason why Yato had went there is because Tenjin had a job for Yato where they had to deal with this octopus looking phantom. And to me, like that whole fight scene, like to me, that right there went by very, very fast. Like personally, I would have preferred if they did make that fight a little bit longer, because, just like Hiyori said, that whole fight took like one attack and that phantom was gone just like that. And we see now that Yato here, he was actually going to praise Yukine for such a good job, because Yukine is definitely, a lot of a better regalia now, especially compared to, Season 1. And we see that, after they had dealt with that phantom, Yukine was like in a rush, because he had went to go meet, Suzuha, who we all know is regalia that he actually became friends with. And so we see now that like while they were talking, we are once again like introduced to the, many regalias that belongs to Bishamon, because we all know about her tiger or lion regalia. Well, she has handguns, a knife, she has what else, a whip. We all know about the grape sword. She has one in charge of like her defense, and we all know the ones that like keep them all together and in sync while she's like fighting. But apparently this one, Suzuha, she has not called his name in years, and that right there is definitely like that right there is like kind of messed up, because she has all these regalias and like most of the time she does not even use them. But I do wonder if she did call him, what kind of form would he take? Because I do wish that maybe that he would have gave some like personal background, between him and Bishamon, because that right there would have been nice. But of course, for like his character, we get something much deeper, because we see, or at least show Yukine, he was like taking care of this tree, and we see now that on this tree there was like actually a mark made by him and a girl named what was her name? Tomone, something like that. But eventually these two were like very close, and Yukine, asked him when was the last time he actually saw her, and he said 30 years ago. So even though both of them are teens, this guy is a lot older. And so we see now that this girl he was like very attached to, she will always come visit him, every summer because her grandmother lived close. But sadly, every time she did, she always forgot about him. But for some reason, she could actually, remembered those flowers that like he would plant. And so we see her getting older every time. And eventually, when like she had like grown up, he actually fell for her, as you can see by the reaction on his face when he saw how beautiful she actually, had become. And so right now, once again, they always bonded like over these flowers, because she could always, remember them. But there was like this one night during a festival where they like made the promise that that she would come back and see these cherry blossoms, but she never did. And so now we see that the following night where Yukine actually left, we have Kuguha being so damn evil because we see that like not only does this guy bait him, but he also like pushed him down into like depravity when he brings up that this girl obviously had forgotten him, and also that Bishamon has not called his name in like so long. And so we see that these mask wearing hounds eventually, attack him, and we see them, pretty much eating him. And to me, I thought maybe they would like cut that part, but no, you can like see them biting into his body. And not only that, we have pretty much saw them, rip this guy apart. And obviously, even though Bishamon did not call him in so long, she definitely felt when like he was killed. And also, Yukine could not stop thinking about, what he said about how that girl, always, actually forgot about him. And we see that, that Yukine was like thinking that maybe Hiyori would also move on with her life and actually forget about him and Yato as well. And obviously that sadness right there also affected Yato. And eventually, when like Yato had first confronted him about this, Yukine did not want to tell him. But when Yato had brought up what happened in season 1 about how, because of Yukine bad ways and always keeping things in, and that right there caused him to get blighted. Like that right there caused Yukine to open, almost instantly. And so we see that like that his biggest fear is Hiyori, actually forgetting about him and Yato, because like they are together now. And Hiyori had done so much for them, and so the fact that one day she could just simply forget about all that right there really scares him. And so that right there, I definitely like how Yukine's character is like definitely developing, because even though he is dead, he still has emotions that as if he was alive. And so now because of that, we see that even though Hiyori might actually forgive them one day, he will not stop studying with her and also being her friend. So that they were like kind of nice as well. And we see now that after Suzuha's death, we have Yukine and Hiyori actually going to that tree, and obviously he's not there because he's dead. But Yukine does not know that yet, and we see Yukine kind of like taking care of the tree. But then we have Yato like texting Hiyori, and it was like hilarious when this guy started to get so freaking salty, especially like how these two became so cozy together. But we see that immediately, Hiyori had like dealt with that, and their soul left her body and taught Yato a lesson. And so that right there was like definitely funny. And so right now we have Hiyori and Yukine. They were eating, and obviously they had a lot left over because they actually bought some for Suzuha as well. And then going back to Bishamon, actually, we can see her going around kind of like talking to all her regalias. but we do learn that not only did the Suzuha take care of like a plant there, or all their plants there actually, but he did play with like the little kids as well. And then we also, you know, have her other regalias, you know, acting all weird because they do not want to bring her, you know, any misfortune that could actually affect her health. Because obviously now we all know that, you know, that she is blighted, and that right there is like definitely affecting her. And after she had went around questioning, you know, all her regalia, she had eventually went to go take a nap. And when she laid down, we had like the leader of all the regalias noticed that that she was blighted. And so right now he had went to gather all the regalias, and they were going to do that ritual that could like purify them, but they had to find out which one, you know, had a phantom on them. And so eventually with a person, whoever it was, would not come out, and you know, and pretty much telling themselves, you know, we have all the regalias, you know, getting checked out. And so right now, first, it was definitely not looking good because all of them were like in the clear. And I thought for sure maybe it was Iha, and she was the one who we saw acting, you know, like kind of mean, you know, last week. And not to mention where one of her regalias had got a bad haircut. You know, we saw Iha holding a pair of scissors, so maybe she was the one that had like cut that other girl's hair like that. But right now, every regalia was like in a clear, but only Kuguha was the one to not actually get checked out yet. And so we see that when he did, you know, strip, you had all those girls in the room, and of course, you know, they were all screaming, which had called Bishamon to get up, as she had went there to see what was going on. But then when she actually did, you know, what's her name, Kazuma or something like that, he had noticed that the blight was gone. And to me, that right there was like very weird, because I don't know how in the world that was possible, unless, you know, Kuguha, because he is the one giving her this medicine. Maybe because he is the one most likely, you know, the one causing her to be blighted. It is possible that he can make the phantom on him go away, you know, whenever he wants it, and that's how, you know, she can be cured of it. Like, and that right there is how she be cured of it, if only for a little while. And so now we have Yato going back to that tree where Suzuha was like taking care of it, and obviously he realized that he was killed. And then we have, you know, Kuguha coming there as well. And so right now, you know, Yato said that he had smelled like dog, and obviously that right there raised a red flag to him. And not to mention, you have Kuguha, you know, egging him on, you know, once again, trying to like trick him into falling into despair, just like how we did Suzuha. But no, Yato was not falling for that. And eventually we have like this like very quick skirmish between Kuguha and Yato. And I gotta say, even though Yukine was like not around, Yato got some moves. Like all those kicks he got in, to me that right there was like so damn impressive. But obviously their fight could not last for long, as they were interrupted by a phantom that Kugaha was like somehow controlling. And to me, you know, I'm thinking maybe that right there is Suzuha, and then, you know, later on we can have this like emotional, you know, period of time where we have Yukine dealing with the fact that like he possibly, you know, killed his friend. Because to me, I feel that right there could lead to some very strong character, you know, development for him. But I have no idea if that right there was like some random phantom, or if that right there was like possibly, you know, Suzuha. But that right there, it's like a random theory that, you know, I just thought of, you know, on the spot. But obviously after that, we have Noragami now healing from his wounds, and he actually went back to Nori. And so right now, Kugaha, he's like actually planning on killing, you know, Bishamon, and we have no idea why he would do this, especially if he is one of her regalias. But obviously this guy cannot be trusted, and I do hope that like Yato can expose this guy, you know, I do hope Yato can expose this guy before it's like way too late. But overall, this episode, it was like freaking fantastic. I loved it. You know, I could not stop. I could not stop watching from beginning to end. Yeah, I definitely cannot wait till next week. But as always, let me know what you guys thought, and please do not forget to like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.